Namaskaram. So, day 11 of the Save Soil movement. I hope you could get a chance to at least bring this into your awareness about how you are borrowing from this planet and bringing a certain sense of reverence towards the air, water, earth, and also the food that you eat. So, hope you were able to try this. Today, I just thought that we could also share with you a simple process which one can practice to consciously bring a certain mastery over these five elements. As you know, the body is composed of these five elements, which is earth, water, fire, wind, and space. Out of which the maximum is for water. About 72% of our body is water, and about 12% is earth, and 6% is wind, and about 4% is fire, and the rest is space. So bringing a certain mastery over these elements can dramatically change the way you experience life. And the fundamental form of yoga, any yogic practice, the fundamental of that is Bhuta Shuddhi, which means cleansing the five elements. If you can purify these five elements, it can eventually lead to mastery over these elements. And if one has mastery over these five elements, then the whole process of life and death, it can be in 100% in one's hands if one has mastery over these five elements. So in yoga, this is one of the fundamental processes. Even if you learn an asana or pranayam or any other thing practice in yoga, fundamentally it's just a form of doing Bhuta Shuddhi. So there is a certain practice called as Bhuta Shuddhi as well, which is like a direct practice to purify these five elements. So those of you who have the time to dedicate and learn some process like this, please see if you can learn this process. This is a very simple process. It just takes about 5 to 7 minutes to practice on a daily basis, but it can fundamentally change the way the elements behave within you. So one thing about Bhuta Shuddhi is that the changes happen on an elemental level. So the changes are permanent. If you do a practice, yogic practice like asanas, and you stop doing the practice after some time, your body will go back to its original position. But it's not like that for Bhuta Shuddhi, because the changes happen in an elemental level. So the changes are permanent. So it's very slow and subtle process. You may not see the changes immediately, but it's very permanent. So if you can invest the time and energy to learn Bhuta Shuddhi, you can learn from any hatha yoga teacher nearby to you. So if you can learn Bhuta Shuddhi, or those of you who have already learned, if you can keep this practice on a daily basis, this is one of the best ways to stay in touch with earth and all the other elements as well. This is something which, even if you have elders at home, if they're not able to do any physical practice, at least see if they can learn Bhuta Shuddhi and practice this on a daily basis, because this doesn't require any physical agility. It's just like a ritual which one can practice, where we use certain external elements like camphor and mud balls, etc. We use and water. So we use certain elements. We use some support from the outside to cleanse the elements within us. And if these elements are cleansed within us, you will see in terms of health and well-being, this can be a tremendous process, especially if you are facing if you are having an unstable body and mind and anxiety or sense of fear, etc. This can bring tremendous stability to both your body and mind if you can do Bhuta Shuddhi. Also, if you have chronic ailments, then this can help in bringing relief. A lot of people who have had serious chronic ailments like even cancer, they have got a lot of relief just by practicing Bhuta Shuddhi. So it has all-round benefits, and earlier this process was available only to a few selected people, but now this is available for everyone to practice. If you know the situation maybe about 7-8 years before, Bhuta Shuddhi was never offered as a separate practice in Isha. You had to come to the temple, Dhyanlinga temple, and they used to do a certain ritual on Shivaratri days where you could take part in the same and get benefited. But now, even if you were not able to travel, if you can just sit at home, you can do this process on your own. And this is something where you can do it on a daily basis like a regular sadhana. So please see if you can do that. And if those of you are already practicing this Bhuta Shuddhi, please share how your experience has been and what benefits you have seen by doing this practice. Namaskaram.